Boxing Live here. DJ Boxing Live here.
Man, DJ Boxing Live here. You're live on the Hangout. Hey, Freddie, man, I know you've been in my group a couple of times. I was wondering, did you see the fight over in the UK? Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin?
Nah, I didn't catch that.
Oh, you ain't caught it yet, man. I. What about Manny? You about to watch Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley? Who you got on that one?
I mean, I go with Manny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody it can go either way, but I'm pulling on the side of Manny right now.
All right, cool. I got a couple of guys in the Hangout. Yeah, I'm sure they're dying to have a question. Let me go with Boxing Beast Ram. Boxing Beast Ram, you got a question for the champ?
At this second, I'm sort of like,
Nah, you got a question for Frederick Pendleton? Not yet. I guess people in the Hangout. But hey, Freddie, man, cause I know you're always on my group all the time, yeah. And like I thought I'd give you a call and stuff like that, man. Hey, man, you're one of the great fighters back in the days, man. And your fight with Parnay Work and all the other great fighters in the 80s and 90s. So what you doing with yourself, Freddie? What you been up to yourself, man? What you been up to?
Well, me and myself, I'm training fighters right now. I just had a fight. Unfortunately, he didn't win. But I got another fighter going in next month, so I got to get him ready. Can't have that happen again, so gotta be on top of these guys, make them work hard. You know, they've got a fighter works hard, he's gonna win.
Absolutely, man.
EJ, I got a question for Freddie. Go
ahead, Ben. That's Ben Newman on the boxing territory. Go ahead, man.
Mr. Pendleton, how was it? I mean, I know your last fight that you ever fought was against Ricky Hatton in England. How was that atmosphere? Because Charles Martin obviously just went through the same thing. How was that atmosphere different from America and England? What can you speak to that?
Well, I mean, the crowd was outrageous, but the thing that set me off in the Hatton fight was they were playing with the scales. They had the scales. They was messing with the scales. It didn't work right. I was lighter than the scales were saying, and I get on the scale. I'm weighing every day. They take me across town, weighing me in, and I'm weighing. It says I weigh 43, and I'm supposed to make 41. So the day of the fight, when I get on the scales, I get on the scales, and it says I weigh 41, and I'm still a pound over. So I said, well, I just ain't gonna make it. But I get to the weigh-in, and when I got on the scale at the weigh-in, the scale said I was 36 and 3/4. And I had made that weight in 10 years, so I knew I wasn't gonna win the fight. I wasn't gonna be strong enough in the fight. So, when I took the loss, you know what I'm saying, and it was just I just went over there and I didn't have a lot of time to get ready for the fight, and I wasn't prepared properly. And the weight was a big factor in the fight, so I had to take that loss. That's how it goes. Sometimes you take a fight on short notice because it's gonna go your way, and it doesn't.
Boy, man, you put us on fights. Let's see, man.
Hey, Freddie, can I get one in?
Go ahead,
yeah, Freddie. One of my favorite fights of yours, man, is against another one of my favorite fighters is Livingston Bramble in the rematch, man. I know the first fight was a draw. Did you feel that you won that first fight, and did that motivate you to knock him out in the second one?
No, I mean, the first fight was a great fight. I felt that I won that fight, and they took it from me. But Livingston Bramble told me after the first fight he would never fight me again. So when the second fight came around, I was trying to shop. But I knew I could beat him. I knew I was a stronger fighter than he was. But Livingston was one of the best at the time. So I wasn't going to take him. So I pushed and I worked really, really hard to get ready for him and be strong enough to push him around. And nobody thought I was going to be able to do it. I told everybody the second fight, I wasn't going to back up. I was going to take it to him. I know how strong he is, but I worked, and I worked hard because I knew exactly how strong Livingston was and the kind of determination that he had in that fight. In the first fight and the second fight, I knew he was going to come after me. We had a big, argument before the fight. We almost fought before at the first weigh-in. We almost fought after the fight. I mean, it was just going at each other. But it was a great fight, and he's a great fighter. I mean, you can't take anything away from him. he's a great fighter, and it was a privilege to fight him.
Absolutely. And last one as well, I'd like to say a question about Nigel Benn, because Nigel Benn, one of my big projects, when he came over to America back in the 80s, he was saying about you when he was sparring with you, used to knock his headgear off. Do you remember Nigel Benn? What's your recollection of that period with Nigel Benn?
Oh man, we hung out a lot. We did a lot of things, a lot of sparring together. We used to bang at each other, go at each other hard. And I feel that I think he was kind of shocked that by me being a lightweight that I was able to handle moving around with him as a middleweight. He didn't think I was going to be that strong. But it turned out that I was able to stand in there with him and be able to do as much damage as I wanted to do to him as much as he did to me. So, he hit me hard, I came back hard. And, we used to have good workouts. You know what I'm saying? And, you know how it is. Some days you get the best and some days he get the best. But that pretty much was how it was. And, he's a good fighter. And we helped each other get better.
That's cool, man. Hey, Beach, you got a question for Freddie?
What are you doing? You still
training?
You training fighters right now, Frederick?
He's asking what you're doing lately. What you're doing now? You said you was training fighters. That's what he's asking.
Yeah, I'm training fighters. I have two good fighters. Two guys I think gonna come up, young fighters. I got a welterweight and and I just got a lightweight that day. And we start. They're looking pretty good. So they got a fight coming up in May. I'm gonna have my welterweight fight in May, and then the other one's gonna fight the following month in the middle of June. So.
Hey, Mr. Can I ask him a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask him about the fights that I've seen. How was it being in the ring with Teron Millette and Felix Trinidad? Can you describe what that was like?
Man, the Millette fight was, I got robbed. He just out now robbed, man. Millette didn't do enough. I mean, when you fight a champion, especially a champion of the caliber that I was, you know what I'm saying, and the people that I had beaten, Millette didn't do enough to get a decision over me. I was the champion, the UFC champion, and you don't give a guy that's trying to make his way up somebody's championship. But they always did that to me in boxing. I was always treated unfairly because I had a lot of losses on, and they always, everybody was like, oh, well, he got all these losses, so a loss ain't gonna hurt him, this, that, and other. And they look out for these guys. But here it is, they gave him that win, and he didn't do nothing with it. He went and got beat, So I can understand you had a guy that's going to, once he gets that opportunity, you give him that opportunity over a top fighter like I was, and then the guy goes and gets beat in the decision by somebody else. You just wasted, you just stole from me and gave him a win to help his career out, and he threw that opportunity down the garbage. You know what I'm saying? So you really didn't do anything to help either one of them. You hurt me, and he hurt himself. So I'm like, if you're gonna steal a fight from somebody, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of things and decisions that they have nowadays are really unfair. And they hurt somebody else's life and they don't care about it. It's like they make judgment of your career. You know what I'm saying? It's not your position. Your position is to judge the fight fairly. And I think they need to, be more scrutinize these judges and these referees a lot better and make these decisions right.
I agree, man. Anyone else got a question for the chat?
Yeah, man. I just want to know, which one do you find more fulfilling, man? Being a fighter or being a trainer?
It's still out on that. You know what I'm saying? I still, haven't really made a decision.
What's that?
You hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you, Freddie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I still haven't made a decision. I'm still deciding on that one. I like being on on both sides, but I think a slight at this point.
Now your phone's ringing over there, chap. I think your phone's ringing. You someone wants to ring. Your ring's be vibrating off, but we can hear you though. I think your phone's ringing over there. Someone's ringing.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I'll deal with that later.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's just that you know, I think it goes on. It's slightly going towards being the fighter, because I mean I love doing damage. That was my favorite thing to do, was going in the ring and do as much damage as I could do, and I enjoyed it. I loved it, and it's like not being able to do it anymore. Yeah, kind of miss it.
True indeed.
I just want to ask a question, if you know, like, I haven't got the box for cup. Did you win the IBF lightweight title or light welter? Who against?
Who?
Did you win the IBF lightweight title?
Nah, he can't hear you. You said he's asking. He's asking you a question about your titles. Did you win the IBF? Who did you win the IBF lightweight title?
I won the IBF lightweight championship, and I fought over in San Domingo, and I won a WBU or something like that. Not the world title over in San Domingo. I fought for his world title in San Domingo. So Max is 2-time world champion, even though some of these people are trying to say that, you know, I'm not. But, you know, you deal with stuff like that, and you keep, you know. I know what I fought for. It was the Sanctuary world title fight. So I'm actually a 2-time world champion.
Wow, man. And you sound like, you know, you sound real good. Let me ask you a question. Have you got any effects from the fight? Because we were over here a couple of weeks ago. Eubank Jr. was in the ring against Nick Blackwell, and obviously that fight went on too long. You yourself in the fight, do you feel like maybe the referees let you get into it? Have you covered anything from your career? Because you've been in some real tough, hard fights with some guys. So, you know, have you got any after effects or anything?
See, I don't think I have any ill effects showing at this point. But you never know. It takes time. You know, how you may see something later on as I get older. Because right now I'm 53.
Man, you good. You sound young, boy. You sound young, chap. You sound young.
And I feel great. And everybody tells me I look young.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really don't feel old. I still feel like, you know. And sometimes when I come in the room, people tell me, "Man, you don't never change. You look like you still can fight again." I said, "Nah, those days are over. I'm not stepping back in the ring for nothing." You know, I had a great career. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I did what I could do in the ring, and I was fortunate enough to win a world title and be considered one of the best fighters around, and have great fans. So I mean, I enjoyed my career, and I'm done with that now. And now it's time to move on to the next thing, which is training fighters and trying to make a big career out of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Well, boy, man, we appreciate you and your fights. Anyone else with a question before we leave the chat? I guess not, man. Well, champ, man. Hopefully, it was the fight, and we're gonna catch up with you soon, man. Yo,
no. I got EJ. Before you let the champ go, I got one more question.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to know, because you fought so many guys, and you've been through the wars. What was it like? What was the power like from Felix Trinidad?
Felix Trinidad watched the fight. He never hit me. They drugged me in that fight. You watch the fight.
What? They drugged you?
You look at, that's what I think. I mean, it's like if you watch the fight, you'll see me shaking my head before I went down. I was dizzy. You know, when I came out, I started to go after Trinidad because I was beating him. I was winning the fight. And then once I came out, I started shaking my head because I got real dizzy. They sent me to the hospital after that fight. So how you don't go to the hospital for a body shot. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? But the doctor said my eyes didn't look right, so they sent me to the hospital. I felt that it was some funny business going on in that fight. That's what I felt.
In the
all that kind of stuff there. I mean, more than likely I can't prove it, but that's what I feel. There was some shady going on with that fight because Felix knew he couldn't beat me. You know what I'm saying? I went after Felix, and he was running from me the whole fight. He didn't want to stand in front of me and trade with me because that's what I wanted him to do. Because I knew he didn't have the chin to be able to stand in there with me. That's why I went after him. I went right out and threw a big bomb and I tried to catch the shot. And from then on, he's back up. He's supposed to be, he was much bigger than me. He was about 6'1". You know, 6'1". I was, 5'8.5". So why was he running for me? I'm a little dude. I was 135 pound champion. I was at that fight. I weighed like 40, I think it was 46 when I came in for the fight. Yeah, but he was running from me, backing up. You know, so I mean, he was a good fighter. But everybody knew what I was going to do to him that night, and he was forced to win. So I mean, ain't no turning back the clock. So. You know, what is what it is.
So, how would you rate Mayweather, real quick? How would you rate Mayweather in terms of things? And how do you think you'd fare against Mayweather if you had the opportunity to fight him?
Floyd?
Yeah.
But, man, Floyd is a great fighter. He's a great fighter. I think he's the best of this day. But I see people trying to, you know, say, would he beat Leonard or would he beat Sugar Ray Robinson? And guys like that, he would have a chance. But Floyd is the best thing out there. In his time, he was the best. Nobody can argue with him. But I wouldn't be comparing him to guys like Robinson and Leonard. You know, number one, they were bigger fighters. Number two, they were much better fighters, in my opinion. I think they rose to that standard where you can call them super fighters. You know, when you talk about super matches and stuff like that, you can add them to that.
All right, so Mr. Pendleton, you think those guys, you think Floyd's not even in their league?
Umar, let me finish what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Floyd had the opportunity to step up and show he was that kind of fighter, to be that super fight. When he fought Pacquiao, he didn't show up in that fight. So, I mean, there's no taking away from Floyd. He's a great fighter, but I just don't think he's that super fight type.
Alright, cool. Umar, you was going to say something real quick?
Yeah, I was just asking Mr. Pendleton, like, from what he said, he basically, you don't think that Floyd was even in their class? And as far as the Sugar Ray Leonard and so on and so forth.
These guys, when it came down to it, the fighter came out of them and they went to war. That's just not Floyd.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd, like Floyd said himself, I fight the way I fight. I'm not worried about what anybody else thinks. And that's him. And you can't say nothing about that because I can't question him how he feels because he's the one in the ring, not me. You know what I'm saying? I know how I would feel and what I would do in the ring. I can't say or dictate how he fights. I can just tell you how I like to go after people. I like to do damage. And when a fight comes at me and somebody want to tell me that they're better than I am, I'm going to show somebody who the best is. And the best one of us is going to come out of that ring standing. And the one that's not the best going to go out the ring and help out the ring.
Hey, after this, I'm going to go watch the Trinidad fight, man. I'm intrigued. I haven't seen that fight. I'm going to go watch it. Which fighter back in the day, which fighter back in the day would you love to fight? De La Hoya? Which fight would you love to fight back in the day? You think it would have been a great fight?
My all-time favorite fighter, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow. Sugar, everyone says
because I want to fight. I always wanted to fight the best. Nobody wanted to fight me. De La Hoya didn't want to fight me. They all ducking me. Shane Mosley ran from me. You know, Benny Pazienza, Greg Hagen, you know, Constantine. All these guys turned me down. Wouldn't fight me. And they all claiming they champions and they're the best fighter in the world. But they running from a guy like me who ain't supposed to be nothing.
So because they know.
That's why I say, you know, they know exactly what's going to happen. Constantine, I'll appeal him a new one. I mean, he was a big puncher, but he'll never hit me. Then you had Zab Judah, who was a runner, you know what I'm saying, and he didn't want to fight me. So, I mean, pretty much it was those guys were allowed a path. I was never allowed that path. You know what I'm saying? When I fought, they stole my title. I knocked Rafael Rojas down 4 times, and he never knocked me down once, but he won my world title.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I was just looking at box rec. Yeah. And I'm gonna watch you fight. What man? Why they do that? Well, that's just madness. Oh man, that's crazy.
I can tell you exactly why he did that. Who was waiting to fight for the world title?
De La Hoya.
De La Hoya. Yep. And they knew I was gonna rip him a new one. So what they did was they took my belt so he can fight
Rafael
Ruelas and put him down because everybody knew that Rafael gets hit and goes down. But Rafael gets up. Because I hit Rafael with a couple of bombs in the first round to put him down. And he got up. Nobody thought he was going to get up, but he got up. Everybody knows he gets up. But what happened when I put him down and put him down hard twice, the referee let him get up, let him get himself together, go back to the corner. I dropped him and get in the 6th round. The referee calls it a slip after I hit him in the chin. And around the chin, the center ring, he falls backwards and goes down, and the referee still doing knockdown. I mean, it was ridiculous the way they stole that fight. But yet and still, De La Hoya fights him, hits him with a shot. He goes down, he gets up, tells the referee he's okay. The referee stopped the fight.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I remember that Ruelas fight, man. That was a bad decision. That was a bad decision. You kicked Ruelas' ass.
My friend Gonzalez that night, they stole his belt as well. Freddie Pacheco said it was the worst robbery he's seen in the history of boxing. He's never seen a champion knock a challenger down 4 times and lose his belt. And he said, then he talked about the robbery with
Chavez.
Chavez? Yeah, with the other guy that put on my car, I can't remember his name. Not Gonzalez, it's I can't remember his name. But he was a good little fighter. He got ripped off that night as well. So, I mean, it was a bad night for champions that day. Because all the champions getting their fight stolen from them. So, I mean, we had to deal with it and we had to live with it. But, you know, I'm like, as long as I was able to, you know, make the fans that watch me happy, you know, with my performances, I'm not going to worry about what took place, you know, as far as the fighting concerns, the decision of the judges, what they've done. Because they, you know, they know what they did. And everybody else know what they did, so. Like I said, no crying over spilled milk. Just move on and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wait, man, like, was you a Manny Street fight? You were out of crump, yeah?
Nah, I wasn't a Manual Stewart fight. I was knocking Manual Stewart people out. He didn't want to do with me. You see what I did with this boy Tyrone? That's what Tyrone tried coming in thinking he's gonna knock me out.
Oh look, hey,
I'm 2 rounds.
Tyrone tried. He went to fight. He said he could have knocked out James Toney. He said he would have knocked out James Toney. How do you think he would have get James Toney if they fought?
Who said they gonna knock out James Toney?
Tyrone Face beats him. In an interview, he said James Toney was scared of him. He said, remember when he got in the ring and he challenged James Toney? He said he would have knocked James Toney. James Toney was scared of the trick. Go ahead.
Price was drinking that night. Because he ain't gonna knock out. James Toney was a bad boy.
You said he was drinking?
But James Toney was a bad boy. Ain't nobody gonna knock out no James Toney. That boy can fight.
Well,
I love watching him fight.
So which crump fights used to be up on? Other than anyone else?
You mean anybody?
Yeah, who else?
Right?
Yeah, nah. You said you used to be up on the crump.
Jimmy Paul. I fought Jimmy Paul. I beat the crap out of him, but I lost. Jimmy Paul got the edge over me because I let him get me down. He got me down in the last round. So, you know, if I let him knock me down in the 9th round, I can't say nothing when they give me the decision. That was my fault. So because the fight was close and he put me down in the 9th, and they gave the decision to him, I can't argue with that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you allow a man to get you down that last round, you know, and they give him the decision, you can't cry about it. If you hadn't let him get you down that round, they couldn't have took it from him. So I gave him a way to take it from him, and they did. So, you know, I can't cry with that spilled milk because I spilled it.
You definitely did, man. You definitely. Hey,
so
go ahead.
You know, I can't whine over that because, like I tell people, You know what I'm saying? You gotta live up. You know, you know what your job is. You know what you gotta go in there and do. And if you go in there and do it, you'll be fine. If you don't, you gotta deal with the consequences.
Boy,
Yo, fellas, I got a trot on. Bless up.
Yeah,
all right, now,
bless
when do you reckon your fight is gonna break into the scene? Your fighters. Where you based in Philly, right?
Nah, I'm in Miami.
Oh man, my bad. When you reckon your fight is gonna break in?
I'm Miami.
Oh, that's nice, man. When you reckon your fight?
I'm hoping this young kid I got right now, but he got a little ways to go because he's just his first professional fight. So he won't be breaking on the scene right just yet. He'll be there. He'll
Okay.
definitely be there.
Well, hey, man, it's been great talking to you, Freddie, man. Hey, man, we look forward to talking to you again. And hey, for the fans, I'm gonna go watch the Trinidad fight. I'm gonna watch the Real fight. So next time I talk to you, I'm gonna give you my take on it. But boy, man, you give us some great insight into boxing.
Alright.
Yeah, and we
You
can.
know me, I'm like this. I'm open with it. However you feel about it, you know, you have an opinion, then hey, you know what I'm saying? You gonna come tell me exactly what you think. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. I will, man. Definitely, man. You keep posting. I keep posting my stuff in my EJ Boxing Live, man. I'm glad to have you in there. And yeah, it's a privilege talking to you. We'll catch up soon, chap.
Privilege, thank you.
No problem, man. Take care.
Okay,
All right.
you too.
DJ Boxing Live here. DJ Boxing Live here.